today.
When I went to use the restroom, there was a woman and her daughter.
Hey kids! Hi kids! Hi kids! Hi, I'm Jeffrey, and I am not a danger to children. I am a danger to parents, though.
What's up, everybody? My name is Amir, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be discussing a bunch of trans people acting a fool, whether they're angry at someone getting misgendering them, they're going off on somebody in the street, whatever it may be. We're here to react to it all. It is an insane mess. But speaking of trans people, we have to discuss the 2024 Olympics. Here we have Imane Khelif, and there is constant back and forth on whether or not this person is a male or a female. Something important to note is that from her home country, you know, it's not legal to be trans. When she was born, the doctors looked at what was there and said, yep, that's a girl. She was raised a girl her whole life, been in female boxing competitions, even has lost some. So when you're looking at that for what it is, she's always been a female. But recently, the only source to really come out and said that it's a man is the International Boxing Association. They've said they ran tests on Imane, and they've come to the conclusion that Imane is actually a man. But something to note is that this is the same organization that has been stripped as regulator by the Olympics over its failure to implement reforms on governance and finance, as well as lacking credibility with their testing. So off the bat, it's not like this is a born man, been raised a man his whole life, and then transition just so they can be and compete against women. It's way more nuanced than that. You have a ton of people saying, well, look at him, clearly that's a man. Okay, well, this is actually a woman, and this is actually a man. So it's like, are we just gonna go off looks now? Is that what we've reduced it to? And then I'm hearing, okay, well, we need to do physical testing. All right, well, it's clear that even if we did physical testing with Imane, if you strip her down and you try to figure out if she got a taco or a churro, it's clear that there's a taco there. So it's like, damn, are we gonna have to sit here and do genetic and physical testing on all athletes? I don't know. And now you have people saying, well, if this person is actually intersex, they shouldn't be in the Olympics because of their genetic anomalies giving them an advantage in their sport. Which, okay, I can get behind that a little bit, but like from their perspective, they're sitting here like, okay, all sports is genetic anomalies. You mean you look at basketball players, they're all tall. They have something, a genetic anomaly against short people. You look at Simone Biles being so short and able to fly through the air. You look at Michael Phelps, whose body is literally made to swim, whether it be his wingspan, production of lactic acid, or the way his double jointed arms and elbows are able to turn in while he's swimming. It's like, y'all know I have a cut and dry opinion when it comes to men versus women in sports, but it's clear when it comes to intersex and genetic anomalies, there is a lot more nuance and conversation to be had about what to do with these people. Because like I said before, where do you draw the line? Because it's not just intersex people who have genetic anomalies, it's also very talented men and very talented women as well. And as all of this unfolded, I was sitting here back like watching it and really trying to understand what's going on with this person in a situation, because everyone's labeling this person as a transgender who's trying to win in women's sports when it's clear this person never transitioned to begin with. It's like no one's talking about this from a non-political standpoint. As you see here, why Imane Khelif is at the center of Olympic eligibility controversy. The IOC criticized the Olympic Boxing Association for disqualifying 2 female athletes without due process at the 2023 IBA World Championships. That's the championship that, you know, the IBA said, no, we tested these 2 people. There's another person, but we're just talking about Imane right now, that they're not women. And it's so interesting because when we're looking at these headlines, some of them are actually insane from the right. Boxer disqualified from World Championships for having XY chromosomes. We're going to get to that. Daily Wire, female Olympic boxer hammered by boxer who failed gender test, quits match in tears. So this is unjust. Female Olympian withdraws 56 seconds into forced fight against man. What's interesting is that the right is also the same party and the same crew that's like, no, we can't trust Fauci. You can't immediately trust things. You have to question things. You can't trust, you know, the FDA and the CDC. Okay, but then we're immediately trusting this random organization that is discredited for saying this person is a man just because they look like a man and they hit hard. When we're looking at female athletes off the bat, they're already ripped and swole as it is. So it's like, where is our discernment at? And when you look at the left, honestly, the left has handled this with way more grace, which I guess that's expected because they're more, you know, LGBTQ accepting and like who they don't really care about this. But you know, Algeria boxer previously had gender test issue in his first Olympic fight. They're mentioning the gender issues, but they're not outright saying, oh, it's a man, like the right is doing. And if you like the way this is laid out and how I went through the left side of the media, the right side of the media, and how you can even go to the center, now is a great time to click the link below or scan the QR code here on the screen to be a part of Ground News. This is the website that I'm on. They've been a long time sponsor of this channel. I love them. I use them all the time because it helps keep me grounded when I'm looking into different news articles and stories to see how the left and the right is really twisting the narratives on things we may be going through in our world. And speaking of our world, you can go right up here to this corner and you can change the edition of the news. You can go to international, UK, Canada, Europe, wherever you're at, the ground news can be tailored to you. Like I said before, you get all your details, the amount of sources covering it, bias distribution, who's on the left, center, or right's covering it, how factuality is it, how much is it from independent news organizations versus big media conglomerations. There's so much that this app offers. And not just that, but they have several topics that you can dive into on ground news. Here's the LGBTQ page that they have. So if you want to stay up to date on anything regarding gay news, this is your place to do so, because you can clearly see again the left, center, and right, and who's talking about what with different topics in the news. And blind spot, which is my favorite feature on ground news. Here's a quick example of that. Walt's made Minnesota a trans refuge championing gender affirming care. Mainly the right's talking about this. As you see, only 13% of the left is talking about this issue, whereas this one, if you haven't seen this video, child, it's crazy. But the Missouri candidate blasted for anti-LGBTQ videos loses in primary. The right isn't talking about that person losing at all, but the left is, which is funny because that video specifically, that Missouri candidate was saying the F slur. It was a lot. It was just a lot, and the right was really rooting her up, like, oh my gosh, it's epic, you know, she's really slamming it down. But now that she lost, they're not really saying about it. They're not talking about it at all. A little shady, but I wouldn't know that it's shady if it wasn't for ground news displaying it for how it is. And truly, I just love the way ground news tackles the main issues in the news, which is the sensationalism and the clickbait, and really trying to cater to your advertisers. And one thing about ground news is they're completely subscriber funded. There are no advertisements on ground news because their main goal is to give you the news for what it is and equip you with the tools to understand it as best as you can. So if you want to take advantage of using ground news, especially as this election is ramping up and all just the nonsense that's happening in our media, you can save 40% off unlimited access to the Vantage plan, which is a plan that I'm using and I've displayed throughout this video this month only, using the link below or scanning the QR code here on the screen.
Is it a 10 out of 10, sir? I don't know. What's it?
Oh, would you like to show your faces?
Yes.
Okay.
How is it?
First off, you called me sir, right?
Oh, I meant to say man. That's my.
Oh, no.
What are
Oh,
your
okay.
pronouns?
No, okay.
What are your pronouns?
She, her.
She, her. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
You know what's very weird? The way those teens started off the conversation and said, is it a 10 out of 10, sir? They knew what they were doing. These teens knew who you were. They knew you'd get triggered by it. They knew, like, you just fell for the plot. Why are you giving these people this time of day? Why are you angry and upset at teenagers?
What's your name?
I don't have a name. My name's. On Instagram, follow me.
There we go.
Sieter.
Oh, wait, one more time? I didn't catch that. See you, sir. Those are kids who knew exactly what they were doing. No, they're not ignorant, Rockton. They're hateful. There's a difference. Hate is learned. They deserve for that video to be seen by the world. I would imagine their parents are of the same mind. If my kid was walking around harassing trans people on the street, I'd want them to know. It's not a light thing. It's not like, oh, they're just being kids. No.
I'm not for people being bullies on the street and just harassing people, but at the same time, it's not like they're going out and harassing trans people. They saw you, not because you're a trans person, but because like you're a well-known famous TikToker, yet that's also trans, but your whole stick, your whole personality is being trans and being very confrontational with wait staff and just being rude and expecting everybody to cater to your lifestyle. So it's like, yeah, the kids knew what they were doing, but at the same time, I don't think these kids are that extremely hateful as much as just trolling because they knew how you would respond and act. When you make this your entire identity, when you make it your whole existence to just eating and being trans and getting mad at anybody who says that you're a sir, you're going to garner attention for people to call you sir. See, when you tell people what not to do, they typically are going to do it. If you tell someone, don't call me this, you're going to make people call you that because you can't control people. The world doesn't revolve around you and it never will.
Hi friends! Today we're talking about something super cool called pronouns. Pronouns are little words that help us talk about each other. We all have pronouns. Some people use he and him, like this bear. He's so cuddly. Some people use she and her, like this cat. She's so playful. Some people use they and them. Oh, like this frog. They like to hop. Can you say
This is why no one likes you. This is why you garner so much hate. Truly, if you were just a trans person existing about your day, you'd be left alone. This Lily person, we've talked about this person a lot. Like, honestly, they would be left alone if they just existed. But when you make it your whole stick to talk and direct your content to children, and then also to tear down small businesses for not calling you sir, you open the door for hate. You open the door to be criticized. You open the door for people just to genuinely not like you. And you're confusing people not liking you as a person deep down for not liking trans people. When in reality, there's a lot of people who don't like you because you are a bad person. Because you are targeting children. Because you are trying to tear down small businesses. That's what it is.
Ran into me because you're a transphobe and you're having a bad life.
I have trans friends.
So why did you walk into me like that?
You're looking for problems and you're purposely antagonizing me.
Am I?
So I'm gonna give you a minute and then I'm gonna call the cops. Because you was going in that direction and now you're following me to this location. And I'm gonna stand here for 1 minute.
You antagonized me.
Okay, what's your name?
You're a black woman calling a cops on a trans woman. And I just want you to
What's your name?
I want you to think about that.
Okay,
You're a black woman calling a cops
Go ahead.
on a trans woman.
Continue to walk.
And I want you to think about that.
We're at 37 seconds.
I'm going to pray for you.
I'm going to hang.
Because I pray.
I'm going to stop recording at 1 minute and I'm going to call the cops if you're still in my area.
This has to be a skit. You're a black woman calling the cops on a trans woman. Think about that and sit with it. Really?
I haven't offended you in any way.
You hit me on the sidewalk with your body.
Me.
You hit me.
Honey.
It's not honey anymore, bitch. It's not honey.
Right.
It's not honey, bitch.
We're just gonna patiently wait for the cops.
Yes, we are.
This is getting...
You're a hypocrite.
It's
you're
getting
a liberal
little bit
hypocrite.
more aggressive.
And you're yeah, I am aggressive. I have PTSD, bitch.
Okay.
You the wrong tranny today, bitch.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
That's what you should be doing. You should be deleting that video.
I will not, because I feel...
I have a lawyer. I have 2 and 3 lawyers, honey. I will sue your pants off.
I'm not going to speak anymore, okay?
I will sue your pants off.
I'm not speaking anymore.
Good. I risk my life every day getting ready in the morning, and you have the temerity to hit me with your body.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but my hands are shaking because I have anxiety currently because of this individual is not leaving me alone.
You need therapy. And you know what? You'd be better off in the hood because the hood people, they know how to act.
Okay.
They know how we treat each other. You went to Bard. You have a master's. You have an MBA.
I am currently starting to shake more. Individuals leaving me alone.
This is some tea. Hold on now. What's crazy is it's like, I feel like this is your modern day, not everybody, of course, not some blanket statement, but like a good modern day, like liberal. That's like low key racist. Like you deserve to be in the hood. What? And this can't be a skip because they're clearly waiting for the cops to show up. What is going on?
You! I have PTSD from being assaulted by people like you.
This is why I don't like speech laws. This is why I don't like the hate crime laws, because this person talking about they got assaulted when they probably just got shoulder checked like everybody does in the city. Like you hit me, you assaulted me, you're being hateful against trans people. It's you. Literally, it's you. You're just a bad human. I really do feel like there's a lot more people who really do not care about trans people, do not care about gay people. It's just these psychopaths. I say it all the time. If you just left the children alone and you stop acting like a dick, maybe you make friends, maybe people will like you, but until then, they're not.
This is a trans person.
Jeffrey Marsh. With the lipstick and the pink dress and the hairy chest and just looking disgusting. He's abusing kids. This is my message to Jeffrey Marsh. Shut the fuck up. You are not trans.
Okay, that trans person that was covered up, obviously we know that was our dear friend Blair White criticizing Jeffrey Marsh. Who is this person you're seeing here on the screen? Jeffrey is non-binary, but says they're trans non-binary, I guess, and obviously very hairy chest, and wears all these female clothes, and swears up and down that they're a female. And like Lily, this person really advocates for trans youth and kids transitioning, and, you know, makes content for kids. Hey, kids.
Hey kids! Hi kids! Hi kids! Hi, I'm Jeffrey, and I am not a danger to children. I am a danger to parents, though.
That's why people don't like you. That's why Blair was, you know, targeting her message at you. Doesn't make us hateful for calling it out for what it is.
Happens to be a trans person who makes her living coming after other trans people, including myself, and I actually don't mind it. And I don't mind it for a few reasons. I'm committed to the idea that trans folks should be able to speak their mind. And if this is what is on her mind, she should speak it. But also, I assume it's coming out of trauma. LGBTQ people attacking other LGBTQ people is probably coming out of feeling bullied.
Is it trauma for a straight person to come after a straight person? Or is it just someone coming after someone for them being a bad person? You're so wrapped up in your head, you're so in an echo chamber here on this damn app of TikTok that you think that you are invincible. You think you aren't able to be criticized. You just can't even fathom that a trans person would dare articulate and really commentate on your behavior. You think Blair has to be bullied, have to go through all this trauma and this and that for simply identifying and calling you out for what you are, which I agree with her, being a bad person that targets children. To me, a bad person is someone who manipulates children. You manipulate children. To me, a bad person is someone that makes content for children as a grown adult to get them confused with their gender. Again, it's like we're following a theme throughout all these people in this video, but they're psychopaths. They're very, they genuinely think that they're just not capable of being criticized. I feel like they say they open it, but then you sit here and you have a list of things that you're calling her for simply calling you out. Blair White, as a trans person, has no problem with other trans people. Amir Odom, as a gay guy, has no issue with other gay guys. It's not the gay that's the issue. It's the person and the things that they're advocating for and pushing. Duh.
Hey, you seen that kid on the news? There are so many different news outlets. What are you talking about? You know, the little boy who thinks he's a girl and his parents are letting him do the whole trans thing. What a cool intro to this conversation. I'm sure it's going to go really well. The kid is only 9, okay? I'm just saying, everywhere you look, there's all these confused kids right now, and their liberal parents are letting them change up their gender instead of sending them to therapy. Oh yeah, conversion therapy, known for both being effective and humane.
And let's calm down here. There's a difference between sexuality, because as someone who went to conversion therapy, hello, there's a difference between someone going to therapy for their sexuality versus gender dysphoria, an actual like mental condition. Not saying therapy to talk them out of it, but taking them to therapy to really understand what's going on in their head. Having sexuality is not on the same bar as having gender dysphoria. So off the bat, this little like mock argument, mock debate is not in good faith.
How can you even say a 9-year-old knows their gender? When I was that age, I couldn't even tie my shoes. You couldn't tie your shoes in the 4th grade? It's hard. Is that Velcro? That's not what this conversation's about. You're right, I'm sorry. Go ahead and make your very good point. I'm just saying we should let kids be kids. I do actually agree with you. I want kids to be kids. But you're trans. Shouldn't you be all mad right now? I'm raging inside. Can't you tell? So you agree we shouldn't let these liberal parents brainwash their children into cutting off their genitals? None of that is happening even a little bit.
Lie. It is happening. There's literally teenage girls getting double mastectomies, and there's literally little boys getting Lupron, which is also the same drug that you give people in jail to castrate them. So, yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. Oh, that I could. But let me ask you this. Why do you think trans kids aren't kids? What are you talking about? Why do you think trans kids would not grow and develop at the same pace as all their peers? You've absolutely lost me. Okay, let's break this down even simpler. Can we agree that there are adults in this world who are living as a gender different than the one they were assigned at birth? I mean, yeah, yes. Sure, that's happening. I don't agree. We're not talking about agree. That's a fact. There are people doing that. Right, okay. And broadly speaking, the reason why people do that is because they have an internal sense of their gender identity, and it's different than the one that people would expect based from their body. Yeah, sure. Cool. And if you want to do that as an adult, mess yourself up, then whatever. It's a free country. Just leave the kids alone. I did hear you the first few times, but let's keep going. So if people are transitioning because of their sense of gender, we got to ask ourselves, when did that gender start showing up? I don't know about you, but I was aware of my gender before 25.
Are there trans kids who are going to grow up and end up being trans as an adult? Yes. Are there trans kids who are going to grow up and they're just gay? Yeah. Are there trans kids who go down this route of being trans and then they detransition, ending up with lifelong side effects because of the medical stuff that they did as minors? Yeah. That's why it's the leave the kids alone argument. That's why people are wanting this to stay after 18 when they're an adult. Personally, I find it very weird that the same people saying 16 and 17-year-olds can't consent to have sex are the same people saying 12 and 13-year-olds have the right to change their sex. Very strange.
Take this trans thing out of the equation. What age in general do little boys and little girls, whatever, figure out that they have a gender? It's around ages 2 to 5. 5 years old? You really want me to believe that? I don't expect you to believe anything, but it is a fact. There are a bunch of different pediatric societies that have confirmed. It's treated as like a milestone for child development. Can you just get to your point already? Gladly. I'm very ready to be done with this conversation. My point is, if that's the case for cisgender kids, why would trans kids be any different?
Trans kids would be different because there are a lot of people who are detransitioning who said they went down the wrong path. And at the end of the day, there still is only male and female. And if that said kid thinks that, oh, I am a male, for sure, they can be a tomboy, tomgirl all day long. That's fine. But we don't want to medically intervene yet, because there's a lot of kids who change their mind. There's a lot of kids who change personalities. I went through so many different identity crises in middle school of like who I am as a person and coming to myself. I'm not even the same person I was when I was 21, hell, even 18 and then 16. What I find is when a lot of these people who have these more liberal ideas when it comes to sex and gender, when they're expressing their viewpoint, it's almost like the definitions aren't even aligned, but not even that. They're glossing over the hard truth and why people feel the way they feel. They just glossed over the medical side. I don't even think they mentioned the medical side at all. When that's a big chunk of this gender debate and trans kids argument, is that they don't want little kids going through all these surgeries. So how are you just going to leave that out, this whole dialogue back and forth?
She calls her coworker over like, well, he's trying to change his name on his account. And I'm like, she kind of like looks at me a little bit and is like, oh, I'm sorry. And just like writes it off. But like, I'm just like, you read both names. Like, she had both my IDs and my legal name change paperwork in front of her. So, you know what my name's going to. Number 2, I look and sound like this. I know I'm 6 feet tall, but girl, come on.
A common theme throughout this video, delusional psychopaths. You look like a sir. You look like a whole man. So don't be mad. It's like, I know it's in the far beginning of this video, we're talking about Khelif and the Olympics. I don't think she can get mad if someone said her, sir. Because Khelif, some pictures look like a dude, and then some pictures look like a girl. But, like, that's something you just can't get mad at. It is what it is. You look like a man with just long purple hair. Your voice isn't changed. It's like, yeah, that person knew, but, like, dealing on an everyday basis, you can't expect somebody to be up to par and quick on addressing you the way you want to be addressed. That's just not real life.
I'm wearing a dress. I am wearing a dress. I am wearing makeup. I'm wearing eyeliner and eyeshadow and everything. Like, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to, like, just get gendered correctly once while I'm out? Like, I know it's happened before, but, like, when I'm doing something, like, official like this, it's been so annoying that, like, it's just like, oh, well, he needs this and his and him and blah, blah, blah. And it's like...
I feel bad for these people, but I'm also just like, can we be realistic for a second? Can you just, like, calm down? Like, it's genuinely something wrong. Like, how do you... We're going to the next video. I cannot. Crying over being called a man when you look... We're going to the next video.
I just had one of the worst experiences of my life. I decided to go out today for the first time as a woman without makeup. I didn't feel like putting any of it on, having to deal with it. And people were so nasty and mean to me. They were making snide little comments. They were snickering behind my back. And when I went to use the restroom, there was a woman and her daughter, and the woman cursed at me before she stormed out of the restroom.
Oh, no. You cannot look like that going in a women's bathroom and then be mad and be mad that the mama cusses you out. These trans people, y'all, where do we find these people at? where? Where did we find these people at? And how do they exist? And how do they have this mentality? I try not to get all buttoned up and stressed in these videos, but it just blows my mind that we share society with these people. Not even trying to be that hateful, not even trying to be that, like, just, but to a certain extent, it's like, what are you doing in the female restroom? Like, that looks like a joke. Like, that looks like you've got to be kidding me. Not even worth my time, quite honestly. I've had enough. We talked about the Olympics controversy and my opinion on all that and how that went down and whether male or female. It's too much, literally. It causes everybody to just pause and wait till we have some solid proof in our hands of what's going on and what to do in these scenarios when it comes to potentially intersex people in the Olympics and in sports, because between the intersex people having genetic anomalies and our top performers having genetic anomalies, there's some overlap on that. So I'm not a sports major. I don't know. That's how I feel on that. And then these trans people, y'all, I'm just mind blown that we just went through all that. And like, you know, the common theme across all of it is just people who feel really entitled to not be critiqued or judged. Very unrealistic people at that. That's just beyond me, but I digress. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate you guys a ton sharing this content. We are on our road to 300,000 subscribers, which that just blows my mind to even say that that's even a thing happening. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you all a ton. If you haven't already, please be sure to join my Patreon. It is $1 a month, and my Discord is live. The Discord is there. We're all in there chatting and having fun and building a community. So there's already a couple hundred of y'all in there. So join while you can for $1. It's so much fun meeting and hanging out with you guys. It's truly been a pleasure. And right down there, there's a goat. Someone, John, mailed me a goat. If you didn't know, my address is in the description below, and that's where you can mail me stuff. And someone mailed me a goat. So whatever you guys mail me, I'll put up. That's my YouTube plaque. This is a water painting that someone drew of me. That's the goat. And so I'm gonna fill this whole area up with things that you all want to send me. So thank you all so much for the love and support there. And as always, do know and trust that you can be anything you put your mind to in this world. You're going through it for a reason, whatever you may be going through. It's called going through. You're not stuck there, you're going to survive. So just understand and know that the season that you're in is not the rest of your life. Where you're at right now is not your entire future. It's just a stepping stone to your next journey and your next path. So just keep holding on. You will get through this. Put your mind to it. Understand that you have more control and agency over your life than you may realize. So utilize that as best you can. So I'm going to leave you with that. Much love. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Deuces.